Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias. Good morning. Thank you for joining us today for Cafecito con HACE this morning. We would love to hear from you in the chat, so please let us know where you're tuning in from, where you're currently located. For those of us who are new viewers, welcome to the HACE Familia and Network, and returning viewers, thank you for your continued support. We always love to see you tune back in. Today we have a special guest. As always, before getting into the conversation, we have a couple of announcements to share with you. So I'll share those first. My name is Alexandra Jimenez, and I'm a current program manager with HACE, or the Hispanic Alliance for Career Enhancement. So welcome, everyone. HACE is a national nonprofit organization whose mission is to cultivate the pipeline of Latino talent in workplaces. And we do this through being able to provide insight, support, and access to Latino professionals to be successful in their careers. So many different aspects that we interact with: partners, leadership programs, thought leadership. And so we'll tell you a little bit more about one of those programs today as we have our special guest speaking a little further. In terms of announcements and upcoming events and things we have going on, our main thing is our leadership programs currently. So we are gearing up for our fall 2023 season with our leadership programs. We have various programs that currently have applications open. So we'd love to hear from those Latino professionals or folks in your network who you think might be a good fit for these programs. First being Mujeres de HACE. It's our Latina leadership program for Latinas in entry-level positions looking to advance their careers and continue to move up in their industries. We also have Hombres de HACE. It's partner program for those who identify as Latino males, also sort of that entry level or more and seeking further leadership development. And then we have our Emerging Latino Leaders program and our Multicultural Leadership program that are both for mid-level professionals in the midst of those careers between 5 to 10 plus years of experience, looking to continue again to move up in that industry of choice. Emerging Latino Leaders for Latinx, Latino, Latine professionals, and then Multicultural Leadership is open to professionals of various cultural backgrounds. So we'll give you a little bit more information in the chat here, but please do visit our HACE website to learn more about our leadership programs, as we have all of those currently open and available for you all to seek further leadership development. So we'd love to have you apply. One more thing in terms of announcements is our upcoming event that we have this month. So we definitely want you to save the date for our Diversity in Sports Recruitment Series event. And this is where you'll get a chance to meet different employers from the sports industry and learn a little bit more about how we can bring more diversity into this industry as well. So that event is going to be on July 26th at 11:30 a.m. Central. We'd love for you to join us. Those of you looking for potential opportunities within the sports industry or know of folks who can benefit from that, please share that with them as well. You can look on our website for those event details, and we'll also share them in the chat with you shortly as well. So those are some things to keep in mind. Please stay connected to us and let us know in the chat a little bit more about you. I see some folks tuning in from Chicago, New York City, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Texas. So we have folks from everywhere here. I'd love to see it. All right. Well, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. So our special guest today is Alexandra Herrera. So I'm very honored to introduce her to you today. She's a seasoned ICF certified executive coach and an insights discovery executive coach with over 25 years of global experience. So those of you who have heard of executive coaches before, Alexandra is going to tell us a little bit more about what that's all about and a little bit more about her as well. We always like to start off our conversation with Alexandra asking about, how do you like your cafecito? So do you have your cafecito this morning? And if so, how do you like it?
Absolutely. Welcome, everyone. Buenos días. Bienvenidos. My favorite cafecito is a cortado. And the beauty about the cortado is not only the flavor, but is that you name it cortado in English and in Spanish. So that's fantastic.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for sharing. And those of you in the chat, let us know, do you like cortados as well, or do you like your coffee a different way? Let us know how you take your coffee in the morning. For myself, I am always team agua, so I drink a lot of water throughout the day. My papi always try to get me to drink coffee, but it never happened for me. So right now, I just drink water to stay hydrated. Thank you for sharing, Alexandra.
Absolutely.
To learn a little bit more about you and for our audience to get to know you a little bit more, can you tell us a little bit more about your cultural and your professional background?
Absolutely, my pleasure. Well, I am a proud Latina, Venezuelan. I was born and raised in Caracas, Venezuela, and I relocated to the United States as part of my employment relation with a Fortune 500 company. So I moved here with my three kids. They are 9, 13, and 15. I'm also a proud single mom, and looking forward to continue seeing my Latino kids moving forward in their own careers and in life. So I completed my bachelor's degree in Venezuela. My background is in polymer engineering. And once I came here, I completed my MBA in Benedictine University here in Lisle, Illinois.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Those of you in the chat, let us know. Are you also from Venezuela, other countries representing? Let us know. And then, Alexandra, a little bit more today as we continue to celebrate. Today, we're celebrating Venezuela's Independence Day. So, muchas felicidades to Venezuela. Those of you joining us, if you're from Venezuela, any Venezolanos in the audience, let us know. Show us some love in the chat as well. So, in commemoration of the Independence Day, I know that Venezuela was the first Spanish colony to declare independence in Latin America. So, definitely a strong feat there. And then it has also faced a lot of social and humanitarian crises over the years. As a lot of of our Latin American countries due to the economics and political conflicts. But we definitely want to be able to commemorate this moment as well and recognize our hermanos and hermanas that are from Venezuela going through those challenges as well with their own families. So tell us, Alexandra, as we celebrate this, what does it mean to you that is Venezuelan Independence Day, and what might it mean for other Venezolanos or people from Venezuela?
Absolutely. To me, Independence Day, actually today is the celebration of the Declaration of Independence that was consolidated in 1830 with the Batalla de Carabobo, but it was the beginning of a long journey. So to me, this day represents hope because we are not in Venezuela where we want to be, but we have been under oppression in the past and we were able to liberate ourselves, of course, with our liberator, Simon Bolivar. But now we have the strength, the ability, and probably the resilience to move forward. It's just that we have been really brought down with economical issues, as you said, scarcity of goods, lack of jobs, the issue that people have to leave because they don't have quality of life, the let's say the democracy that is really in danger, of course, with the institutions, because the system is not democratic. So we know an election is coming up, but that's not what gives me hope. What gives me hope is the resilience of Venezuelans. And even when we are outside of Venezuela, we are still strong representing our country and collaborating with people that are inside and looking forward to see our country liberated this time for good.
Thank you so much for sharing, Alexandra. A couple of things that you said definitely resonated with me. Speaking about resilience and being able to push through different obstacles, as many of our folks who are immigrant coming to the U.S. do from their own countries. You also mentioned earlier that you're a single mom, so I can also imagine that comes with some resilience as well. So, kind of tying the two together there, how do you how does that help you move forward, having that hope and being able to keep that resilience? How does that help you move forward in both professionally and personally?
Absolutely. Yeah, this is something that has carried me through since I put my eyes on the opportunity to come to the States to complete an MBA. I faced different difficulties. So in the beginning, I was coming as part of a Fundación Gran Mariscal de Ayacucho scholarship, which is a very prestigious scholarship in Venezuela. And I got a place in Penn State, but I couldn't come because I didn't have the amount of money that I needed to support my kids. So I could come by myself, but I decided, of course, not to come if I couldn't come with them. So by the time I was granted the opportunity to come, then since it has been a dream of mine for a long time, I just consider that being hopeful, resilient, and continue working towards what was my goal then, that has been an important, let's say, trait that has allowed me to achieve things in life. So I have faced all kinds of challenges, personally, professionally, financial, and still I keep strong and going at it. And I think that's part of our strengths as Latinos as well. So when I'm thinking about my mom, my grandma, and all, let's say, the matriarchs in my family, that gives me great pride. And I just feel that I inherited that strength and that resilience from them.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. We definitely have a lot of strong Latinas in our ASA network as well. So feel free to join us in the chat and sharing a little bit more if you are an alum of one of our leadership programs, our Mujeres de ASE, or just a strong Latina representing, let us know and share in that sentiment with Alexandra as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of shifting gears a little bit here. I mentioned at the beginning some of your role with executive coaching. In addition to those roles as an executive coach, you also serve as a program lead for our Emerging Latino Leaders program. So, those of you in the audience, to give you a little bit more information, our program leads are the executive coaches that facilitate and deliver our leadership programs. And so, they lead a cohort of participants in various discussions, reflections, and deliver leadership development content from ASE. So Alexandra takes on that role in addition to her executive coaching as well. So, and I also know, Alexandra, some inside scoop that you have had a hand in the beginning and establishing our Emerging Latino Leaders program, also assisted with developing the original curriculum for the program, which has evolved a bit, but definitely was of great help. So thank you for that involvement. So if you can tell us a little bit more about your involvement with our Emerging Latino Leaders program as a program lead, how your experience has been, and then the development of some of that content in the beginning, how that experience was for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. The Emerging Latino Leader Program is near and dear to my heart. And what I love about the program is that creates a space for Latinos to continue developing their leadership unapologetically and authentically Latinos. So many times in the pursuit of climbing the corporate ladder, some of us have thought that to fit in, we need to let go of some things that are crucial for us. And that sometimes creates an identity crisis, and that creates frustration, and that creates all kinds of, let's say, misalignments. So when we recognize we are Latinos, we bring our values, and when we are willing to live up our values and even climb the corporate ladder being ourselves, then that is a gift. And that's something that we are able to create that environment for discussions in the ELLP, Emerging Latino Leader Program, because the participants have the opportunity to talk about their own challenges. And it's not only talking about the challenges which makes it different, it's because there are strategies that we strategize solutions for those challenges. Their self-awareness enhancement, their opportunity to network with other Latinos. One of the things that I love about the program is by the end of the session, some of the insights of participants are, for example, oh, I thought I had an accent, but I have met many people with accents that are very successful. That gives me great pride because, as you can hear, I have a strong accent, of which I'm very proud. So I just love the Latino Leader Forum, the Emerging Latino Leader Forum, because it allows us to be more proud of who we are and bring that with us. So, and not only that, but we continue pursuing the dreams, professional dreams, etc. But we understand that we need to pay it forward, that we need to bring other Latinos under our wing. And that is a way of perpetuating success among our community.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Alexandra. A couple things you mentioned that I want to highlight. You mentioned being authentic, unapologetically Latino. And so that kind of connects to the fact that our leadership programs, including the Emerging Latino Leaders, has a lot of culturally relevant curriculum in it, right? So being able to connect, like you mentioned, to those cultural values, talk further about how do you navigate those values in a corporate workspace or in different industry environments as you're challenged or as you're presented with sort of the nuances that come about as you're becoming a professional. So definitely want to highlight some of those. And then also talking about creating that community of where you can share different experiences, share challenges with those peers within the same cohort. So you may be going through some challenges. Like I always say, you think, well, I can't imagine someone else going through this, or you feel like you're the only one, right? So it's definitely great to be able to have that community and that space, like you mentioned, to share what are some of those challenges and then see like, oh, I'm not the only one going through these challenges, right? Someone else is going through this or has gone through this before. This is how they handled it. That helps me think about how to navigate my own situation, right? And that's one of the most powerful things I think of that community and that sort of cohort model that we have is that you're able to have that space and notice that there are folks that you can connect with to help you navigate some of those challenges, right?
Yes, indeed. Amen. As I saw a comment on the chat, amen.
Yeah. Want to highlight some of the comments from our viewers here and then let us know any questions you have for Alexandra in the chat as well. As we answer those, you got to know a little bit about her background. So let us know what questions you might have. So we had a comment from my colleague Melinda talking about how you were her executive coach and helped her gain a lot of confidence as a Latina leader. So definitely grateful for that. And then we had a comment recently from Sandra, and who says, I've noticed with my employer that like anything else, they love food and culture of Latinos. However, you can't act Latino, and that's heartbreaking. Okay, so definitely want to highlight that, Sandra, as we mentioned, being able to lead authentically. Any comments about that, Alexandra?
Yes, the opportunity to generate change is in our hands. One example that I have seen that has been helpful in many organizations is the employee resource group. So getting together as a community of Latinos in that company environment and really looking at business challenges from your perspective, bringing the Latino creativity and resilience to the business challenges and presenting yourself as a force of change, as disruptors, as leaders with great potential and great present, actually. So in a way, it's just to your point, Sandra, going beyond the cultural celebration and the food and just a very superficial way of recognizing Latino value. So just making sure that we portray what a Latino is with our strengths, our resilience, our creativity, our collaboration. That is a very great gift we have, that we engage people, we inspire people, we bring people along. And that makes us a very important asset in any corporation, in any company that we work for. And we just need to leverage what we have and just move forward.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Alexandra. And definitely that becomes so much more important in a world where we're seeing that diversity is being attacked currently in the country with different policies that have come about. So it becomes so much more important to show that value. We have one question from Edgardo asking about how do you navigate people that perceive us as aggressive when we're being confident or assertive? That's a great question.
Great question. I would say when somebody, let's say, label you like that or provides a hint on that, I would say, what do you mean by that? What is it that I said that made you feel that I was being aggressive? That could be a way, because so many times we just laugh or we just withdraw, and then in a way we get bullied, even implicitly, because we don't stand up and say, okay, what do you mean by that? And then that is a way to step up and stay your ground, I would say. The other element is when you are assertive, you assert facts. And to assert facts, we don't yell, we are just firm. So being firm cannot be taken as aggressiveness. Just continue being firm and referring to facts. We are not defensive, we are not aggressive. We are certainly just acknowledging facts and being firm about the value we bring to the table. This is very important. I want to use your question also to emphasize, and our culture as Latinos, so many times we have been raised with the idea and the value that we need to be humble. I'm here to tell you, don't be humble. In corporate America, if you are humble, you will not progress. So you need to be proud of who you are, of your heritage and your accomplishments. When you are asked, what have you done? Don't say the team did. You said, we did, I led, I accomplished, and don't be shy about it. Just be able to assert your value. If you don't do it, nobody will do it for you.
So important to advocate for ourselves, Alexandra, as you're mentioning, to be able to progress, to have other folks notice our work as well. So a lot of times, sometimes can be in the background, depending on, your positionality in organization. So important to continue to advocate for sure. We have some comments here from some viewers. So proud of you as a woman, as a Venezolana, hardworking, to support each other in this country for sure.
Gracias, Marta.
We had one more question from one of our viewers, Sharon, who is our current intern for the summer at HACE. And she's mentioning, how can we support other Latinos or take them under our wing, so to speak? Any
Great
thoughts?
question. Yeah, great question. Yes. Let's say doing mentoring, tutoring, job shadowing with Latinos in the community is being able to showcase how you went from where you were that they can relate to where you are, and helping people to see that it's possible without giving up who you are. So participating in, let's say, influencing your company to provide scholarships, to engage in recruitment for Latinos, to, let's say, leverage the case, the business case for diversity and bringing Latinos to represent the community, the purchasing community. As you all know, our purchasing power as Latinos would be a GDP of the fourth country in the world or something like that, if I remember correctly. So every company wants to appeal to Latinos. If the company is not honoring Latino leadership, how can they be successful? So think business and bring your Latinidad forward.
Think about that bottom line, right? As you're mentioning. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Alexandra, and thank you for joining us today in our cafecito. We always like to end the conversation by asking our guests, what is something that you're hopeful for or a positive story that brings you hope for this year?
This year, I'm hopeful to continue impacting Latinos so they can realize, we all can realize our potential, our value, and bring it forward unapologetically to move our community forward. Professionally and personally, we all can do this.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You heard it here on Cafecito con Ace. Thank you, Alexandra. Thank you to our viewers, and we'll see you next time on Cafecito next week. Gracias.
Thank you. Gracias.